What's up, Gamecock fans? Elijah Campbell here from 107.5 The Game. Just got into the 107.5 The Game mobile, aka our truck, our station truck, after leaving Bon Secours Arena after the South Carolina Gamecocks took down Oklahoma 93-75 to advance to the SEC title game. A very impressive win, a game in which South Carolina got up to another big lead. This time, didn't let it get below 10, despite Oklahoma shooting a lot better late. Again, 93-75, 93 points from this team, and they had 70 after three quarters without hitting a three. I think that's one of the more impressive parts of this game. And one of the storylines is that this team used the tempo that Oklahoma gave them, that Oklahoma plays in every game, and used it to their advantage. They got out on the break. They used maybe some Oklahoma fatigue for playing 3 games in 3 days at a hectic pace and used it to their advantage. A lot of fast break points early in that half. Mylasia Fulwiley did a fantastic job in transition, getting to the bucket, getting into the paint, getting some easy shots, and being able to convert on them. And Joyce Edwards, who had a couple of layups rim out on her in the first half, was still sticking to the script. And she told me in the locker room after the game that those missed layups don't discourage her, because if she quits having that scorer's mentality, then she's just not going to score at all. You can't give up on yourself, and kudos to her for being able to stick through it, finishing stronger at the basket in the second half, and she was able to score 17 points. Mylasia Fulwiley led the way with 19, and really those two were the best at getting in the lane, creating mismatches, and finishing strong. That was really, the biggest trump card that South Carolina had in this game, was just being able to go down low or get out in transition and use their athleticism and their speed and their finesse around the rim to be able to make a huge difference. It's how you score 93 points in a game like this. And defensively, yeah, Oklahoma put up 75, but they hit a ton of threes in that second half. I think they hit 10 threes for the game. And that's just what Oklahoma does. They hit a lot of threes. They shoot a lot of threes. They are not afraid to let it fly. But defensively, the big difference was not letting Reagan Beers beat them. Reagan Beers is one of the best bigs in the SEC, one of the best bigs in America. And at the 3.5-minute mark of the third quarter, held to only 4 points on 1 of 8 shooting. And when I asked all the players after the game, kind of how or what do you credit for limiting her production, despite the physicality down there, because it was a physical basketball game down there in the post. And the main answer was, Miriam Dowda played great minutes. Sanaya Fagan played great minutes. They were strong behind her and made Reagan Beers shoot tough shots. She wasn't getting good positioning to shoot easy shots at the rim uncontested. They contested everything down there and made life very hard on the Oregon State transfer and basically made her a non-factor in this game. And when you make the other team's best player a non-factor, I like your chances of winning the game. Look, this is a game that really showed what this team is like when they get out in transition. They're physical on defense, and this is when they're at their best, even when they're not making threes. Look, 70 points in 3 quarters without a 3-point make in 2025 is hard to do. Very rare. And you got to give this team credit for their ability to continue attacking the basket, getting to the free throw line, and getting the points that they're comfortable getting, getting the shots they're comfortable getting. They dominated the shot quality battle in this game. Even when Oklahoma was making shots and threatening the lead a little bit, it never really got too threatening. I never really felt like this game was up in the air by any means. Even then, this team did a hell of a job of keeping them at bay and not taking their foot off the gas by still attacking the rim. There was not a moment in this game where I felt like the 5 on the floor offensively were stagnant. That happened a couple times against Vanderbilt. That happened a couple times in the UConn loss and some of the losses this year. There were stretches where the offense looked stagnant. It never did today. It was constantly aggressive, constantly creating shots by getting the ball into the paint. And then in the fourth quarter, they got the ball in the paint and were able to kick out, and Tessa Johnson made a 3, and Mylasia Fulwiley made a 3, and then opened up the floor everywhere else. The same way that making mid-range jumpers in the first half opened up the floor for the rest of the team. Sanaya Fagan hit a few early on. Joyce Edwards hit a few early on. And it really had to force Oklahoma out a little closer to the perimeter, even if South Carolina's not hitting threes. The threat of that mid-range jumper does open up the floor a little bit, and I thought South Carolina did a fantastic job of opening up the floor. And that's one of the reasons why you get 93 points and then escape this arena with an 18-point win, awaiting the winner of Texas and LSU for all the marbles in the SEC. I would like to see them play Texas because I think, instead of determining who's the best team in this conference by a coin toss after both teams split their regular season meetings, I would like to see a third game. I'd like to see them settle this bad boy out on the floor. I call it a neutral site game, and I put that quotation marks around it because that is a pro South Carolina crowd. The fans showed up, they showed out, they packed the building, and it was loud. A fantastic atmosphere for South Carolina basketball. And if they play like that, they get out in transition, they're aggressive defensively and force turnovers, I like their chances against LSU or Texas. But it's going to be a big game tomorrow. We're going to get you started with a pregame show at 1:30. And as always, thank you to our sponsors, Lexington Discount Homes, Windland Foods, and Atkins Law. The fantastic job for them to sponsor, me getting to hang out here and give recaps and talk to players and provide some content. And it all comes to a head tomorrow. So again, 1:30, myself, Tyler Head, going to break down the championship matchup with South Carolina and either Texas or LSU. Can't wait to break this thing down. Can't wait to see a fantastic basketball game. And again, thanks to our sponsors, Atkins Law, Lexington Discount Homes, and Windland Foods for all their work to be able to send me here. And look, we're in for a special treat tomorrow. A win doesn't just get you an SEC championship. It guarantees a 1 seed. And I don't think they're out of the conversation for being the number 1 overall seed in the NCAA tournament. If I could speak, I've been talking a lot here this week. But nonetheless, big game tomorrow. Can't wait to preview it for you and give you my reaction once the nets are cut down one way or the other. I'm Elijah Campbell. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in.